And now let me just brief you about the today's seminar as well as the topic assigned to me. Today, the main topic that we have talked about is Atmanirbhar society. Honorable Prime Minister has been talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat, and now I think we are all in a housing society. How a society can be made Atmanirbhar. The today's focus area will be on that, and to make it more useful to our participants, we have in this seminar or the webinar, we have joined hands with the Urban Livability Forum. This is a forum started by two professionals, Sarang Mehta and his colleague. And I think this Urban Livability Forum is going to bring us how today's environment, a society can be made Atmanirbhar for the water saving as well as waste to wealth, and then conserving the energy. And at the end of the day, with all these resources which are very important for the society, how it can be made Atmanirbhar. Of course, we discussed today's seminar, we will be discussing all these topics with the professional like Mr. Saurya Somani, Urban Livability Forum. He will talk on need of for the Atmanirbhar society and larger vision for such initiatives. And of course, government initiatives for conserving water as well as economic benefits for the society will be Subhajit Mukherjee, ambassador of Maji Vasundhara Abhiyan, a government of Maharashtra initiative. He'll speak and discuss on that. Then practicals to implement the rainwater harvesting, because at the end of the day, rain harvesting is very important, and that is how we can save the water. Sandeep Adhyapak, water entrepreneur or CMD of Waterfield Technology Private Limited, will speak. And powering ahead with solar, making your society Atmanirbhar for energy, Jay Vyas, solar expert and founder, will be speaking. So, of course, then we will have a question answer, and then I will think this programs is going to be fantastic. Now, as far as the topic given to me is online AGM, you may be aware because of the pandemic, we have been discussing, talking with the government that why you cannot do the online. However, we as an association are guiding the people that 20-30 people may be physically present. Rest you can do with the audio visual means. People can be sitting at home and do the video conferencing, though it was not liked by the department. But when the second wave came in, that is the honorable cooperative minister and the cooperative ministry themselves had a discussion with us, and how can we make it more online. Of course, their concern was especially related to rural area where there is a sugar factories and other things, and they are not able to come online, and there is a rural area where agriculture societies are there, and the members are more than 3,000, 4,000, and in some cases there's 50,000 members. So I was giving them a guidance that it can be done on a YouTube basis where people can give a comment and it can be discussed. However, that was not acceptable. Then I said at least you make it for a housing society as well as to the cooperative banks where members are much educated, and it can be at least made viable, because we want that 31st March 2021 general body should be completed. The suggestion was accepted and the guidelines have been issued on war footing. Now, unfortunately, we have very limited time to carry out the guidelines which has been given. Now, there is one controversy which has come in this guideline. However, how to overcome that also I will try to explain you, especially for the housing society. So, to begin with, next 2 minutes or 3 minutes I will take, and I will share the screen as to the translation of the entire AGM circular. Now, this is issued by the government of Maharashtra under the recommendations of the cooperative commissioner. This circular is issued in the last month, that is on 25th February 2021. What this circular is talking about, it is addressed to the cooperative commissioner, DDR, deputy registrar, district registrar, and all the registers. The subject is the entire circular I have translated in English so that it becomes easier for us to understand. Instructions regarding annual general body meeting according to section 75 of the Cooperative Societies Act. In citizens, that is a people cooperative banks or cooperative housing society. So this circular is related and restricted only to the housing society as well as to the cooperative bank. But if you are asking of other cooperative housing society, maybe government may come out with the amendment in the act saying that because of the pandemic, both the general body can be held later, that is together in the next year. So as per the, I'm just reading the verbatim circular. As per the provisions of section 75 of the MCAs Act, the annual general body meeting should be held within a period of 6 months from the end of financial year. So that was supposed to be held by 30th September 2020 for the year 1920. However, due to the outbreak of COVID-19, it was not possible for the society to convene the AGM, and therefore the act was required to be amended. So accordingly, the act was amended to allow the annual general body meeting to be convened within 12 months from the end of its financial. That means it was supposed to be held by 31st March 2021. However, because of the various government guidelines related to COVID, the government has restricted the gathering of not more than 50 persons. So we were following the police, we were following the MCGM. Everybody was saying, no, you cannot go against the government guideline where you cannot have more than 50 persons. And therefore, even to hold the general body less than 50 members, when we go to the police, they were never giving the permission. When we go to the register would say take the police and BMC permission. So this was pillar to post, and when we were talking to the government said you have to wait for further guideline. So therefore, holding the general body was very difficult. However, now after the outbreak, second wave, Honorable Chief Minister also said social gathering is banned. Now, if the social gathering is banned, there was again a confusion whether the meeting can be considered as a social gathering, and that will lead to certain issues. So we thought it is better that there should be a circular. Accordingly, it has come in the last minute, and now it has said in this circular, it has been made very clear that gathering up to 50 people can be done within the society by following the required guideline. That is a social distancing, sanitizing, and also, wearing the mask. If these three guidelines are followed, this can be done. Now, for the societies having more than 50 people, and of course, how they can do. So in that case, they can be doing video conferencing or other audio visual means. Now, why we have clubbed this agenda along with the today's Atmanirbhar society? The reason is that now that general body is going to happen, online meeting is going to happen, you can have one of the agendas as to have Atmanirbhar society. In this Atmanirbhar society, you can pass certain resolution, you can call for the expert, you can delegate the power to the managing committee, so that in the days to come, you can also have a thinking process, you can have the implementing process to go ahead with the Atmanirbhar society's initiatives, whether it is related to water or making the waste to wealth, and then conserving the energy. That is so therefore, now how can we do the audio visual mechanism? So it has been said that strictly following 50 people guideline you can do, and rest of the things you can of course do the audio visual means. Now, if the cooperative bank, point number 2, if the cooperative bank at a housing society more than 50 people, they should conduct, it should conduct the annual general body meeting through video conferencing. VC means video conferencing, or other audio visual means. Now the guideline is, according to me, if at all you are able to have 3 or 4 halls, and in each hall, if you are going to have less than 50 people, you can go with the live telecast and with the certain system. So video conferencing and other audio visual means you can have. Now, how this should be done? Arrangement should be made to inform. So the first guideline which is given, that it is a responsibility of that particular society or the managing committee to see that what they have to see. Arrangement should be made to inform each member of the society about the date, time, and place of the annual general body meeting. So as we know, the general body requires 14 days clear notice. So therefore, it says at least 15 days in advance, you should be able to send the SMS, WhatsApp, or email, so that they are informed about the date, time, and the meetings, and of course with the agenda. So the second says notice of the annual general body meeting should be posted in the notice board of the society, branch office of the society, and it of course should be sent by email, WhatsApp, and SMS. Of course, we can give the link. It will be the responsibility of the concerned cooperative society to convene and inform about the subject to be discussed in the meeting. That means agenda also should be given in the email. And of course, the email address and the mobile contact number, if it is not available, you should some or the other make it available. So it will be the responsibility of the concerned cooperative society to convene the information about the subject to be discussed in the meeting within a fortnight to the members whose email address or mobile contact number is not available. Now, how can you make it to available to the members? It can be through the public notice as far as how cooperative bank is concerned. Now, as far as housing society is concerned, I am of the view that society has all the contact details of the members, their emergency contact numbers are there, and their emails are there, and therefore I think you need not give a public notice, because if you see the little later guideline, it says that in order to ensure that everybody is given the information, uh, item number D says cooperative housing society and citizens cooperative banks should advertise the information about the annual general body meeting at least one local newspaper, one district newspaper, or a state standard Marathi or English newspaper, considering the scope of the society work. When advertising, newspaper should include following. Now, what I'm saying is, we have been getting n number of queries from the housing society. Should we give the advertisement? Our member have got 80 members. Should we give the advertisement in the local newspaper? My submission to them is that this is a consolidated guideline for housing society as well as to the cooperative bank, and they have taken the cooperative bank as their main area of focus, and therefore they have said advertisement. In the case of a housing society, I would say if you have certain email, if you have contact number, you have WhatsApp messages, and in that if you are able to inform your members, I think you need not give paper notice. And the first agenda that you should pass in the general body is to give the waiver of the public notice in the newspaper, because we have communicated to all 80 members, 160 members, or 200 members of the society. So accordingly, the advertisement or the notice should include which of these medium will be used, video conferencing or the other audio visual means, how you are going to conduct the AGM, date and meeting, and the details provided as to where to submit the information. In case you want to get the registration done, how the registration can be done, and there you can get their contact numbers and contact numbers of the concerned society manager or the executor. So annual general body meeting should be conducted by the video conferencing or other audio visual as per the advice of the experts. You should take the experts and at least keep in the record that you have taken the advice from the experts, so that the technical issues are avoided. The responsibility of maintaining the records of the AGM in according to the prevailing provision rests with the concerned society. What is the prevailing provision? To record the minutes. So the general body minutes should be recorded as early as possible. This is signed by the second officer Anil Chaudhary on behalf of Government of Maharashtra Cooperative Department. Thank you very much. I see today we have crossed 100 participants. It is a great initiative. That means people are interested in understanding the Atmanirbhar society as well as AGM. So I would suggest AGM can be done any day in the daytime or in the evening, and then of course, because we have very limited time, so 15 days notice should be given. So in the notice you can give the whether you are using WebEx, you are using GoToMeeting or GeoMeet, or you are using the Zoom, or whatever the medium you are using, give the meeting ID, you give the password and ask the people to register, and then I think you should go ahead with this. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, and I wish you all the best to listen to the Atmanirbhar Society initiatives and how you can get it implemented through Urban Livability Forum. It's a new forum which has been started to facilitate housing societies, and we are happy to join with them and conduct this program. Thank you very much, and sorry for taking more time, because I thought the entire reading of the circular and giving the interpretation of this will be much beneficial to the participants. Thank you once again, Hiralal Sutar, and of course Merchant and uh, Rotary Club of Bombay. West. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Hilalji.
Mr. Soria has to come and conduct further.
Yeah.
Over to you, Shaurya.
So thank you.
Soria.
Thank you, Rotarian HM Sutar, and thank you, CA Ramesh Prabhu. I would like to also thank Rotary Club of Bombay West and Mahaseva for supporting us in our initiative, Atmanirbhar Society. This is second edition of the webinar series. We did one in December. The objective remains uh, what our political leadership started with of being Atmanirbhar. How can we make our country, our cities Atmanirbhar? And it should begin from our home itself, from the place we live. Uh, as we know in 2020, most of us, we lived at our home. We consumed and we also did waste at our home. We consume energy, we consume water, and we consume food. And it all happened at our housing society level. What it did, it made us more aware of what are we consuming and how are we wasting it. And hence the concept came into the picture that it is a right time that if we as a society, and I would say a society means a housing society, or the place we worship, or the place we study, or the place we work, it is actually any urban structure uses energy waste, produces waste, and consumes water. Now, if this is done responsibly, what it does is we know there is always going to be a population explosion in the urban cities. And as per some numbers, it would be more than 70% by 2030. 70% of the population will be staying in urban areas. I mean, that's a given. These are data that we'll find all across the place. There will be a stress on the natural resources. But if we now is the right time to conserve is because now is a transition phase. People are talking about renewable energy across the world. People are talking about saving water across the world. A lot of resources, I would say, even economy is going towards transition to the renewable energy. To share you a quick insight of what is the main benefit here of a housing society being Atmanirbhar. Yes, definitely money is one, definitely conservation of resources is another one. But the most important thing is uh, we lived in societies. We categorize the same thing in societies and cities. Is something we call as a viable city, is or a viable society where we stay, which would give us basic amenities. Uh, the second is a livable society, which will have a modern amenity. It will have a clubhouse. It will have a gym. It will have a conference area. It will have a banquet. You name the facilities with the technology and everything, and it will have there. It's a livable society. Now, what is a lovable society? Now, this is where it attracts affection, and always it has. Is when someone talks on sustainability, it always attracts affection, no matter whether the intent is there or not. But when someone talks about conserving, yes, it gives a pinch to the heart that how do I make a lovable society? Is when I am aware of what I'm consuming and what I'm wasting. This is a time that this is the right time, I would say, that we all thrive or we all try to make a lovable society where people can proudly say that we are generating our own energy, we are generating our own water, we are conserving water, and we are responsibly uh, taking care of the waste that we do. So that is where we say that a lovable society will lead to a lovable city and it will lead to a lovable country as a larger picture. To give you these perspective, we today have three experts, I would say. Uh, Subhajit Mukherjee is an ambassador for Maji Vasudhara Abhiyan, which is a government of Maharashtra initiative. We'll start with Subhajit Mukherjee and we'll take it forward to the other two experts which are waiting on the line. But let us again, just a couple of points is let us strive to make our society livable. It's way beyond what we are currently doing. And like CA Ramesh Prabhu rightly said, that have these as pointers in your AGM, may it be online, may it be offline, but make it a line item where you can start discussing this. If we start now, at least we'll do it sometime, maybe in the near future or maybe in the long future, but the discussion should start happen. Uh, with that in mind and with that in our conversation, I would like to hand the screen to Shubhajit Mukherjee.
Thank you so much. I hope I'm audible. And in fact, the very initiative of Atmanirbhar Society is so amazing that this concept I had been discussing with government of Maharashtra, and they like it so much that maybe we can have a collaboration in future. Atmanirbhar Society is not just about being self-dependent, but it is also about saving money, where the outgoing of the society can be controlled, which we are spending for no reasons. So here, मेरे पास 10 minutes है, and my efforts will be today to talk about the effect of water. Like, fortunately, I have my audited report in front of me of my society, and it shows 3,40,000 rupees is the water tax that we have, water charges that we have paid. And on top of that, we have spent around 2 lakh rupees getting water tankers. So the business of water tanker is definitely flourishing. On the other hand, we pay a lot of water tax. Still, we have water shortage. And unfortunately, we are the city. If I'm talking about people in Mumbai, we also get floods right after a month's time. So here I want to talk about how to manage this water situation in the Atmanirbhar Society initiative. So I like to share my screen and show you a small to the point presentation, which will give you a fair idea of what we are referring to today. I hope you can see my screen. Can somebody confirm? Can you see my screen?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So this is a small initiative where definitely governments are doing a lot of good work when it comes to working on water conservation, where we have Jal Shakti Abhiyan in the central government. Government of Maharashtra has started Majhi Vasundhara Abhiyan, and where we are trying to address certain issues, especially water bills, especially our shortage of water and also the excess water we have. This is a simple news article, what you see here, which says that there is only 30 days of water left. And this happens almost every day in the month of May and June. And we are the same place where we get flood-like situation. And these are like national numbers I'm trying to talk about. Right now, let us not get deep into it, but I want to talk about some solutions we need to work together to manage our water concerns in the societies. First, these are the three aspects we should be working on, three solutions. First is every drop count. So we need to reduce our consumptions. On the internet, there are many things available how to reduce your consumption. Maybe the flow of water can be monitored, or you can take a bucket bath instead of shower bath. That is always there. Second, I should talk about water reuse. Many of the housing societies today are collecting the gray water and collecting it in a drum, putting it back to the tank, overhead tank, and which is used for flushing purpose. So flush water which BMC is providing us is drinking water. Unfortunately, most of the societies are using that drinking water to flush their toilets every day, which accounts to 38% of the water that we consume. So that's a lot of number where we need help in collecting the gray water, basic filtration, and use it for flushing. That will transform the way we look at water in the city. Third, definitely the biggest challenge we have is to catch the rainwater. Unfortunately, everything is concretized, and because of that, water is not penetrating into the soil. If you look at the soil formation, our soil is structured in a way that water goes in. There should be lakes, there should be ponds, which are more of like concretized now. The water is not penetrating. All the society water is going to the roads, and it is the main cause of the biggest cause of I would say floods in Mumbai during monsoon. This is a small diagram which I'm showing for explanation how we need to help water penetrate into the ground so that water becomes a part of our subsoil water. So as you see here, the terrace water with the help of a pipe, it definitely runs down. All we need to install an additional 10 or 15 feet of pipe length and push it into a percolation pit. Percolation pit is nothing but a khadda, which is like 5 feet by 5 feet, and we can have a 10 feet deep structure जिसमें पानी जमीन के अंदर चला जाएगा, and that is how it works. This is one more example where we are collecting the terrace water into the drum, into the with the help of a pipe or with the help of a bucket. You can use it for non-drinking purpose during monsoon. It can be पोछा लगाना हो या गाड़ी धोना हो या पेड़ों में तो खैर उस समय देना नहीं पड़ता है, that's the best part. But there are a lot of, even in the toilets we can use it. Unfortunately, Mumbai is a city, even during monsoon we are using fresh water which is provided by municipality, which is wrong. And it's not just Mumbai but across the country it's happening the same thing. There are like few basic diagrams which has been shown, which I'll be very happy to share with all of you through this platform. I'm making a specific PPT which I'm going to put it in the group where all of us can understand. This is one more challenge we have, where in the MMR region we have more than 18,000 bore wells and I would say ring wells, kuएं हैं in simple terms. But most of the wells are not been maintained, they are not been kept clean, it is full of plastic, so the water is not penetrating into the ground. So one of the action areas is, अगर आपके housing society में कुएं हैं, we have to use the water from the well to the overhead tank and use it for flushing purpose, and also during monsoon divert all the water possible into the well. कुएं में अगर पानी हम छत का पानी divert कर देंगे, it is the easiest way of catching the water, which will bring down your water bills. Any society who is spending more than 5 lakh rupees should definitely in water expenses should definitely go for this. And unfortunately, most of the societies I have seen which are large in number, which are like more than 100 flats, they are having these kind of water shortage. This is a very simple example. अगर आपके पास borewell है, because as per the government records, there are 9,000 societies which are totally using borewell. Borewell का पानी जमीन से उठाते हैं and they are using it for non-drinking purpose. वहाँ पे इस टाइप का percolation pit बनाने से water will penetrate into the ground and which will help us in keeping the water level in place, ताकि आपका बोरवेल का water quality improve करेगा. This is the layer how it works. नीचे बड़े पत्थर, कोयले, छोटे पत्थर and sand. This is how water penetrates into the ground. They're like different ways. One more way is the concretization effect. As I said, it is very important that कि आपके societies में अगर टाइल्स लगे हुए हैं उसमें आप होल कर दीजिए, और नए टाइल्स आप जितने भी लगाएंगे उस टाइल्स में ऐसे बने हुए टेलर मेड टाइल्स आर आल्सो अवेलेबल, which is quite useful. So that will help the water penetrate into the ground. And society में अगर water logging होता है तो this pattern will assure that there is no water logging. This is a very beautiful way of making a walking strip. Unfortunately, most of the places you go, जो walking areas को भी total concrete कर देते हैं. But this is a very beautiful way. Just for reference मैं आपको दिखाना चाहता था अलग-अलग ways of making parking lots and where there is enough space. So this is a very innovative way where आपके पास already अगर पेवर ब्लॉक्स लगे हैं, कंक्रीट लगे हैं, और जहाँ पे पानी पडल क्रिएट होता है, लॉट ऑफ टाइम यू विल सी इन अ सोसाइटी बारिश में पर्टिकुलर जगह ही पानी जमा होता है. अगर वहाँ पे इस टाइप के 2 फीट का ड्रिल मशीन लेके अगर आपने छेद कर दिया, so these holes will allow the water to penetrate into the ground and आपका water accumulation खत्म हो जाएगा. उसके लिए आपको ये नहीं कि पूरा का पूरा टाइल ब्रेक करना है and you have to do a civil work. It is not needed. It's a very simple way of working it out. And these are innovations which has been adopted. This is also a very interesting thing which has been done these days is storm water drain. हर society में होते हैं. We can connect the storm water drain directly to your I would say storm water drain. Water is flowing, you make a percolation pit, water goes into this pit and you can make a mini well, or under the road you can, if you already have a well, the water can be diverted to that well. जो मैं इसके पहले भी बोल रहा था कि आसपास कुएं में पानी को आप डाइवर्ट कर दीजिए. So this is extremely grateful to BMC क्योंकि उनके पास इस समय financial stress बहुत ज़्यादा है due to COVID time, but they have allotted 1800 crores for Mumbai to manage the storm water situation. And आप देख रहे हैं कई जगह काम चल रहे हैं. All the storm water drains are being made more deep. जहाँ 3 फीट के थे उसको 6 फीट किया जा रहा है, 4 फीट के थे उसको भी 6 फीट किया जा रहा है, so that more water can get into the storm water drains. And drains के अंदर इस टाइप के percolation pits बनाए जा रहे हैं ताकि water penetrates into the ground. And आसपास अगर well है और अगर new roads बनाए जा रहे हैं तो उसके नीचे इस टाइप के ring wells भी बनाए जा रहे हैं. So thank you so much Government of Maharashtra for doing this. Another, I would like to show you one more. इसको क्या हो गया? Yeah, here it comes. This is another way of installing percolation of water, ताकि जितना पानी आप जमीन के अंदर स्टोर करेंगे, why we are insisting on this is more water you have inside the ground, your temperature of your surroundings will be in control, trees will survive, moisture level will be maintained, आपके building quality भी maintain रहेगा, ecosystem will be there, floods नहीं होंगे. These are all flood control techniques which needs to be implemented because चारों तरफ concretized हो चुके हैं. So as you say, it's a very simple diagram. हमने pit बनाया है. We are trying to show it how where it is. Concrete waste से उसको भर दिया है, मलबा जिसे कहते हैं, ऊपर गिट्टी है, and ऊपर एक प्लास्टिक का नेट लगाया, but it is not mandatory. Even if you don't have the net and the step 4 you follow, the water will flow in. It will be collected here, it will go into the ground, and excess water will flow out. It will move further. It's a very simple technique which we are trying to implement as much as possible. This is another good way of showing you the percolation pit which has been made by municipality. This is a storm water drain. आप देख रहे हैं किस टाइप से बारिश की पानी यहाँ पे कलेक्ट होता है. And this is the ring well जिसके थ्रू पानी नीचे जाएगा और एक्स्ट्रा पानी is been flowed here. तो percolation pits are very important, चाहे सोसाइटी के अंदर हो, चाहे आपके कॉलोनी में हो, प्राइवेट रोड्स के किनारे हो, या म्यूनिसिपैलिटी के रोड्स में हो. We are trying to implement this across the country, and with your help and support, I'm sure we will be able to do this really well. So this is a clear diagram as we are trying to show that the water is coming in. This is the percolation pit. Water goes into the extra water, whatever can be collected in a bigger quantity. You can have a ring well to allow the water penetrate into the ground. So these are the basic things which I wanted to show you right now, which can be implemented. There are very various designs available, innovations available. And as I said, that a simple percolation pit allowing the rainwater into this drum, which will flow into the land, is something need of the hour, and I need your support to implement this as much as possible. So this is a simple diagram. इनफैक्ट इसमें मैं आपको एक्सप्लेन करना चाहूँगा, छत का पानी हो, ग्रे वाटर हो, collect it in a drum and use it. The entire year this water will be available for taking care of your garden or any of the activities, and the extra water will go into the land, into the percolation pit. So thank you so much. This is I wanted to show it across, and if needed I'll be happy to come up with detailed display of this initiative, and I'm sure that as a team we can do amazing work on this. Thank you again for giving me a chance to talk to all of you, and thank you, Shaurya ji. I mean, you are doing amazing work, and I hope to work with all of you who are here today. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Shubhajit, and thank you for your time again. Thank you for giving me your inputs. Just one question I have with this for people. I have been to your society, and I have seen the simple percolation system that you have made for your society. Just tell us, how much does it cost? I mean, not only in terms of money, but also in terms of, say, resource like time, whatever, so that people have an idea कि कैसे कर सकते हैं, क्या कर सकते हैं, because that is where most of the people are stuck.
So, yes. So percolation pit is a very ancient thing. I'm sure जब Lord Rama वनवास में गए थे वहाँ पे भी उन्होंने बनाए होंगे percolation pit. So it is just a matter of श्रमदान for a day. अगर 4-5 जन मिल जाते हैं तो you can make a pit which is कोई specific dimension नहीं होता है. 4 feet by 4 feet is also enough. 6 feet by 6 feet is very good for a bigger society. And just put one day of your effort, and with the help of a pipe, if you just divert the rainwater into a pit, our work is done and the rainwater harvesting begins. This is not going to cost more than 1,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees if you're going to buy everything. And in fact, drum bhi compulsory nahi hai. Agar aapke paas, Mumbai is a place where a lot of concrete waste is already lying around. Jise hum malwa kehte hain. You can just fill the pit with this malwa, and the cracks and the gaps between those stones are enough to allow the water penetrate into the ground. So it is a real innovation. I'm definitely happy to say that this idea got innovation award by Honorable Prime Minister, and thousands of these have been made across the country by NGOs, by corporates, by individuals, by housing societies. So, and yes, I am there, we are there, and I'm sure as an Atmanirbhar society, we will be happy to call each one of you. आप हमें कभी भी phone कीजिए with the help of a live WhatsApp call. We can see the place, we can guide you, and let us implement it. साथ में मिलके हम लोग 99 जन हैं. Let all 99 of us participants install one percolation pit in our housing society and show our efforts in doing something for the nature as well as for the society.
Sure. Thank you, Shubhajit. Just one question one of the participants had is what is the maintenance cost, and also could you cover the urban forest initiative, because we have been promoting this in the messaging of Atmanirbhar Society, the recent one that is there.
So yes, Atmanirbhar Society, it is a request that we have come up with mini forest concept which we want to implement in societies or in education institution, which will be better because students can learn. If you have 1000 square feet of area space in your society, we will come and implement a Miyawaki forest technique, which will be a mini forest, and which will, I have shared the photograph, and which will attract a lot of birds and butterflies and greenery. So give us the space and we'll make a mini forest at your society free of cost. मेरा टारगेट है कि मैं 10 सोसाइटी में जरूर इसको इम्प्लीमेंट करूं with your help, and where all I need is you to water it. That's it. And water can also be grey water, चाहे आपका किचन का रन वाटर हो, that is more than enough. मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा हूँ आप फ्रेश वाटर यूज कीजिए. So give me the chance to come to your society. मेरे मुझे photographs share कीजिए. 1000 square feet is all we need, and I'm sure आप लोग इतना जगह तो निकाल सकते हैं अपने सोसाइटी में.
Thank you, Shubhajit. So to everyone attending the webinar, if any society would like to take up the initiative, take up the challenge, can give us a space, you can definitely write to us on the comment section. Our contact details are also given on some of the creatives, some of the posters that we've been circulating. You can write to us on our email ID, and we'll definitely pass it on to Shubhajit and take it forward.
Mr. Saurya, is it necessary to have the BMC permission to go for the kind of forest in the compound of the society? BMC permission is required.
Sir, I'm working with BMC, and BMC is encouraging this kind of initiative. There is no permission needed as such from BMC to make a mini forest, and we are calling it as a mini forest, but by definition this is not a forest. So it's not that tiger and leopards will be staying there. So it is safe for the society. So you can simply go ahead and make a dense plantation, that would be a better word, and 1000 feet का तो garden अगर जगह है हम आराम से बना सकते हैं. We will use all the kitchen waste to make compost. हम लोग बाहर से कुछ साथ खरीदेंगे नहीं. It is a self-sustainable model that we want to develop. And water, जैसे मैंने कहा, kitchen water को use करेंगे. That's a very beautiful concept of doing this, and I'm sure we'll get good support from all of you.
Thank you, Shubhajit. So with this, we would like to request Sandeep Adhyapak, who is a waterpreneur and CMD of Water Technologies. He's going to share some very practical tips, for water conservation in societies and any urban structure. Over to you, Sandeep. Thank you.
Thank you, Shaurya. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Am I audible?
Yes, we do hear you. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. I think I have to put off one of my audio.
Sandeep,
Hello?
if you can take off any other electronic device from near to your laptop or
No,
wherever you're present.
I have logged in from 2.
Okay.
Hello. Yes. So thank you so much for this opportunity. I would like to thank Rotary Club of Bombay West and Urban Livability Forum for this opportunity to share the knowledge in the field. Over last 20 years, I have been working focused on rainwater harvesting and groundwater management. It was a fantastic presentation by Subhajit Mukherjee, and they're doing really nice work. I think to become Atmanirbhar society, we all need to follow the various tips given by Subhajit. I'm going to share here with little more technical tips on the subject. how to become Atmanirbhar society for water, and it is possible through harvesting rainwater. Some practical tips I'm going to share here with. We have been working with this belief that social, cultural, and financial future of any country lies with best water managers, and the vision is to serve as a leading freshwater management company in India. I will highlight this word, freshwater management. We believe that if we do it practically, the rest of the thing we need not worry about for getting water, because enough is there in the form of rainwater available. Mission is to enable people and organizations become self-sufficient of their water requirements by offering them an effective solution on total water management, of which rainwater harvesting is the most effective tool we believe we have been practicing. So a little about company. Myself and my wife, we have been into this over last 21 years now, with a team of civil engineers, architects, geologists, and this is our social venture wherein Waterfield Research Foundation is creating awareness on the subject since 2015, which is not for profit. So coming to the subject, urban water scenario today, we all know that there is a scarcity despite of having so good rainfall all over, and probably the reason is that we are dependent on the centralized water supply systems. Though we all are wise enough to study this formula H2O, we cannot make water. And on the other hand, the scenario is that water privatization is happening in city. When earlier they came with the spices, people from outside country have ruled us for 150 years. Now is a high time that we all should come together and work on the subject, manage it well. And I think today's initiative speaks about that, how to become Atmanirbhar on our water requirements. Friends, if you look at the source of water on earth, I mean, these are the sources from where we get water. Rainwater top of all, dewdrop is also. Surface water, we have glaciers, springs, and waterfalls, and then streams, river, ponds, lakes, dams. We are more dependent on in the cities like Mumbai, and in most of the cities in India, we are dependent on these sources. Maharashtra is thought to be, number one in dams. Including Mumbai, we are dependent on water from the dams major. And ocean, of course, we are heading towards now desalination projects and all of that. And in subsurface, we have water on this earth in the form of springs, beaches, and dug wells, bore wells, and tube wells. So let us, as we all know that water treatment technologies are coming up in India, and then including water treatment plants, UVs, ROs at a domestic level, ETPs, STPs, effluent treatment, sewage treatment plants, and zero liquid discharge policies, and desalination also is being in practice in India. Friends, if given option that you have 2 glasses of water, A is treated sewage water and B rainwater, my question to all of you is, which one will you consume first? Probably D is the answer. Rainwater we will prefer using first, and if that is not available, yes, we will go for the next option, which is maybe a treated water, may it be a sewage, may it be effluent, or may it be sea water which is treated. So there are many many practices, many methods which people listen about, hear about, and despite of that, there are many questions in our mind why action is not being taken to the extent that it should have been. Although the rainwater harvesting has been made mandatory by Mumbai Municipal Corporation from 1st October 2002, I have been practicing this subject prior to that. I know the development, and not significant work has been, I would say, done so far by all of us. I think we need to work on awareness as well as more practical knowledge, and which will drive the actions, and such forums will definitely do wonders by creating these opportunities. So these are the questions in the minds of people why they don't take up the project, is why this is required, where it is to be done, and what needs to be done, when we have to do it, how to do that, and who will help us in doing it. Although it is not a rocket science, definitely it is a little bit technical subject, and if you really do it well, you can be Atmanirbhar in water. So going back to basics, friends, we all know that there are As a water cycle we have learnt in the school days. The cycle which covers heat from the sun, evaporation, transpiration, condensation, precipitation, and then melting, snow melts, and then water flows through rivers and all of that towards the ocean. Point here I want to make is rain is the prime source of all water on earth. Why we need to focus on rainwater harvesting is that the traditionally wisdom tells us that we have forgotten this, that akashat patitam toyam yatha gacchati sagaram. The journey has been explained in these words, that whatever pours as a water from the sky in the form of rain is the journey where it begins, water's journey begins. It ends with the sea. Today we are working on desalination, as I said, is the other end of it. Let's think about the beginning of it so that we manage it well. We all know the principle. From the source, if you apply the tool, you get the best results. Dams, we are number 1 in the country. Maharashtra, you see the numbers, and it speaks about we are dependent on the source, which is still not helping us to become Atmanirbhar. So what we need to do is we need to learn this subject, rainwater harvesting, well. And the definition what we have been following as a design philosophy is that rainwater harvesting is an effective water management system designed to fulfill secondary water needs, typically in urban areas like Mumbai, to collect rainwater whenever, wherever it falls. Utilizing it during monsoon too is the first step. Without missing this step, I think if you do it, you get the best results. And recharge the surplus to make groundwater sources sustainable throughout there. This is what we need to follow step by step to get the best results. There are 2 types mainly. You can collect water whenever and wherever it falls. It falls on the rooftops and it falls around the buildings in urban areas. So rooftop rainwater harvesting and surface runoff harvesting are 2 different methods you can look at. So basically it is about collecting rainwater. Utilizing it is the important step. Many of us miss this. We directly go for recharge, which is not effective way of doing it. I want to highlight this point. And recharging is the next step we should follow. So harvesting is the word which has come from the farmer. We should follow the wisdom he follows. After harvesting, he celebrates, he consumes, he stores it for the requirement of the family requirement throughout the year within house, and remaining he sells to the market. I think we should all follow that wisdom. The word has come from the agriculture. So we need to do that, again endorsing the same step, that collect, store, utilize, and then recharge. How much should be our target in urban areas? How much water should we harvest to become Atmanirbhar? Because we cannot invest money so much so that we catch every drop. If we do that, fantastic. But let us understand step by step, if we have this system to become Atmanirbhar. Initially, for flushing water needs, which is 45 liter per person per day out of 200 liter we use in urban areas, I think that target can encourage us to move further. But let us hit the first target, and for that you need to have all 6 components what we necessarily design for every project. I have done more than 2,000 projects across India, right from tribal school to 100 buildings projects in Virar with BG Shirke for MADA. All 6 components we do consider in designs. Any design you can understand these 6 components. One is a collection system, is rooftop, as we talked about, rooftop either or surface runoff. You have to choose right collection system, the catchment. Second is its channelization, bring it together somewhere. Get it filtered, third party's filtration, because whenever, although the rainwater is very pure, when it falls on the terraces, it gets added with impurities like dust, dirt particles and bird droppings, which needs to be removed. Although we are going to use it for secondary purposes, we need to remove these impurities, which can be done easily. I'm going to share those tips, how you can do that. Fourth component is have a little storage, which can suffice your requirement during rainy season between 2 rain showers, so that you have sufficient to meet your secondary water need. And our target is now 45 liter per person per day in society. Such a small storage, which is around 5,000 liter of tank, if you put it HDP tank, plastic tank, in the duct area, can suffice your requirement between 2 rain showers. And then this is how you can meet your requirement for 4 months. Whatever surplus you have to recharge, and in between you have to have system for using rainwater during rainy season, that is through distribution. So that is how 6 components: collection, channelization, filtration, storage, distribution, and recharge. Step by step, if you have it in your society, I think you can become Atmanirbhar. Wherein storage is the only constant, because we cannot have storage for remaining 8 months. So this analogy will help you to understand how to collaborate with nature. And nature is a complex like human body. We all know there is a comparison between human body and earth. Typically in Maharashtra state, where we are in Mumbai, it's a basaltic terrain geology below ground. If you want to really store water, we have 70% failure when it comes to exploring groundwater, because of this reason that it is a hard rock. You need to have a proper geological studies so that you can have access to groundwater and you can facilitate recharge. It doesn't happen everywhere and anywhere unless you know where it is possible. So you need to have a proper guidance for geological studies, wherein you can have a productive borehole by identifying the fracture in hard rock, which is spread over 90% of the state. Otherwise, you end up drilling seasonal wells or dry wells, wherein recharge is not possible. So there are some technicalities. I am not going to take much time on this, but we do it with the electrical resistivity meters as well as electromagnetic surveys, which are non-destructive tests which you can conduct by running a survey around the building, and you can identify the zones where you can have this kind of study to understand the potential of getting water from ground and also recharging locations where you can have recharge structures. So friends, we need to learn these techniques or get a guidance from someone, use the right tools and products which will help you to have modular designs which are easy to operate and maintain. So these kind of online filters are available, which you can fit it, wall mounting filters which do not require any electricity. They run on water itself. Your downtake pipe, which is getting water from the terrace, can be connected to these filters. There are 2 outlets. One is clean water outlet. 90% water gets cleaned, which is used for flushing your toilets. 10% water along with impurities goes out as a drain. So this is one-time installation, and you can harvest rainwater and use it for flushing the toilets in rainy season by putting this kind of filters, online filters. This is the cross section, which simply you can see that water enters in, impurities are drained out, and another outlet which gives you clean water. It is fitted with a diverter. If you close that, this is the only operation you need to do, which allows initial water to completely drain out so that it is first flushed till your roof areas are clean, and you can put on the diverter so that your tank gets filled. So with this one operation, with no maintenance, no replacement of any part or cartridge or anything like that, by gravity this filter can create wonders. We have used more than 5,000 such filters across, and this is very easy device which you can put it in your buildings, having different capacities against the conventional filtration system, and some kind of screens which are used for to ensure that your water which you are putting in below ground, we need to ensure that it is clean water. Screens are used. So I'm just showing some of the available products with which you can really ensure that whatever practices we are adopting will not create any harm to the nature, rather it will help us in getting water and save our money as well as protect the environment. So these are some of the water saving products which you can put it in your, as Surabjit said, you have to conserve whatever you have and then harvest rainwater, and then you can think of recycling what is made available. So there are many such devices and available in the market. I think any project which, with a thumb rule I can tell you with a confidence, any project wherein you put money, whichever money, maybe a small or big project, can bring back your money within 3 to 5 years, because the raw material in that factory which you are going to set up is free without GST. You don't have to pay GST for rainwater even today. So the output is going to be viable if you invest in. It is all we know that it is said that Third World War will be fought over water. Friends, there can be 2 approaches of living life. Tolerate the things the way they are or take responsibility to change them, harvest rainwater. The initiative declared by our Honorable PM calls for 100 days campaign to conserve rainwater by this tag catch the rain when it falls, where it falls, when it falls, started from 2nd 20th of Feb, and I think before monsoon we all will be ready to catch every drop. We are there to help you in this initiative with our services, right from hydrogeological study to water auditing and designing the system for societies to make them Atmanirbhar, and the turnkey solutions also, and some of the products we deal in with a team of our expert professionals, civil engineers, architects, geologists, and geophysicists. We have been serving various sectors, including government, industries, hospitals, builders, more than 950 developers. Friends, how to store water which we get it within 4 months, which can suffice the requirement for remaining 8 months, is the key area where you need to think of geology and get the help from a technical person, anybody around you. I think yes, this speaks about that. In Marathi we say nisarga deto parjanya jalasatha. Enough is there in nature. How to store? Amhi suchavto sathवण्याच्या वाटा. How to store, that is the only question in mind. So thank you so much for this opportunity, and we are always there to help you becoming Atmanirbhar for water by way of conserving every drop of rainwater through rainwater harvesting and groundwater management projects. Thank you so much. And over to you.
Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you for those insightful tips to conserve water. Sandeep, I would like to request you to stay back in case of there any further question and answer, but we'll move on to the next speaker, who is Mr. Jay Vyas.
Please.
I'll just give a quick introduction, and there's a video to be played. So Jay Vyas is a CMD for Coco Solar, and he's been into solar project installation for housing societies for quite some time. I'll just play on with the video so that we are, he wouldn't be presenting, but he's here with us. We can definitely ask some question and answer once the video is there. It's a very educative video. If you can share this, see the screen, just give me a thumbs up so that we are good with it. Anyone can just say if they can see the screen.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Increase the audio.
Audio is not proper.
It is very low. Please increase the volume.
Okay. Just give me a minute.
It is not playing, Mr. Sorry.
Audio, it shows its maximum. It's not.
Can I share from here?
Sorry.
I'll
Yes,
share.
yes. If you can do that.
Yeah. You stop the sharing.
Yes. I stopped mine.
Okay. Can see the screen?
गुड मॉर्निंग,
It is available.
नमस्ते। मैं जय व्यास,
Yeah,
कोको
okay,
सोलर
fine.
से।
Yeah.
हम लोग सोलर पावर इंस्टॉलेशन करते हैं। आज हम एक स्कूल में हैं कांदीवली में, जहाँ पर ये सोलर पैनल्स लगे हुए हैं और आप देख रहे हैं कि ये पैनल क्लीनिंग हो रही है। पैनल क्लीनिंग करना बहुत आवश्यक होता है जनरेशन को बढ़ाने के लिए, क्योंकि जो आप डस्ट देख रहे हैं वो डस्ट जो है उसको हमें हमेशा निकालना है और करीब 1 हफ्ता 10 दिन में इसको हम पैनल से साफ करते हैं तो जनरेशन बहुत इम्प्रूव होता है। जब भी सूरज का प्रकाश पैनल पर गिरता है तो डीसी पावर जनरेट होता है और इस डीसी पावर को काफ़ी केबल्स है, हर एक पैनल के नीचे देखेंगे आप तो काफ़ी केबल्स हैं जो सारे कनेक्ट करके हम ये जो डीसी पावर है उसको हम इन्वर्टर की तरफ लेके जाते हैं, जो हम आगे जाके देखेंगे। और इन्वर्टर जो है वो डीसी पावर को एसी पावर में कन्वर्ट करता है। जो एसी पावर है उसके केबल सारे नीचे मीटर में जाते हैं और मीटर में लोड होता है, जितना भी लोड होता है तो पहले सोलर पावर को प्रेफरेंस दिया जाता है और उसके बाद में जो अगर कोई ज़्यादा पावर चाहिए तो वो डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कंपनी से आता है। जैसे यहाँ पर टाटा पावर है, तो टाटा पावर से जो पावर हमें लेना है वो सिर्फ बचा हुआ पावर लेना है लोड के लिए। तो सोलर पावर जो है जिससे हमारी काफ़ी बचत होती है। आज जो भी काफ़ी प्लांट्स है जहाँ पे हम लोग 80% जो टोटल कंजम्पशन है वो हम सोलर पावर से लगाते हैं। आइए हम देखते हैं ये सोलर पावर पैनल्स जो है वो किस तरह से कनेक्ट किए हुए हैं। ये देखिए, ये जो सारे केबल्स हैं, आप नीचे जाके दिखाइए। जो सारे पैनल्स हैं वो हर एक पैनल के नीचे जंक्शन बॉक्स है जहाँ से हर एक पैनल का पावर है वो कलेक्ट होता है और सबको एक साथ में जोड़ के ये जो केबल्स है उसमें पास किया जाता है। और ये जो सारे केबल्स है अभी हम आगे देखेंगे कि इन्वर्टर में ये लगे हुए हैं। ये हमारे प्रिंसिपल साहब हैं जो इस स्कूल के प्रिंसिपल हेड हैं और इनके इनिशिएटिव से हमने यहाँ पर ये सोलर पावर प्लांट लगाया है। गवीत साहब, आप बताएंगे क्या इनको कि क्या बेनिफिट हुआ है सोलर से?
सितंबर से जब चालू हुआ तो लाइट बिल 0 आने लगा, मतलब वो फिक्सिंग चार्जेस छोड़ के 0 लाइट बिल है आज तक।
अच्छा, और कैसा एक्सपीरियंस रहा है अभी?
बहुत अच्छा, बढ़िया।
तो ये गवीत साहब का ये कहना है कि अभी लास्ट सितंबर से जब भी हमने प्लांट लगाया उसके बाद में यहाँ पे वैसे भी अभी स्कूल ज़्यादा क्लासरूम्स चलते नहीं है, तो जो मिनिमम पावर यहाँ पे कंज्यूम होता है तो वो सारा सोलर पावर से जाता है और जिसकी वजह से जो बिल है वो 0 आते हैं, क्योंकि अदानी या टाटा पावर से हम लोग बिल्कुल कोई यूनिट ले नहीं रहे अभी और सिर्फ फिक्स चार्जेस लगते हैं। आइए हम आगे देखते हैं। ये इन्वर्टर है, वहाँ पे हम जाते हैं। अभी ये जो सोलर पावर प्लांट होता है उसमें हम लोग सिस्टम डिज़ाइन करते हैं। सिस्टम डिज़ाइन ऐसा है कि 1 किलोवाट जो है वो 1400 यूनिट एक साल में बनाता है। तो मान लीजिए कि हमारी सोसाइटी है, हम सोसाइटी के बारे में बोलते हैं कि सोसाइटी में तो काफ़ी कंजम्पशन होता है। जैसे कहीं पर 1 लाख रुपए का महीने का बिल आता है, कहीं पे 3 लाख रुपए का बिल आता है। तो अगर हम सोलर पावर प्लांट टेरेस पर लगाते हैं तो सोसाइटी की ये कैपेसिटी है कि उनका जो 1 साल का कंजम्पशन है उसका 80% तक हम सोलर पावर में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं। जिससे मान लीजिए कि 1 साल का बिल 12 लाख रुपए आता है तो हम करीब 1 साल में 8 लाख रुपए बचा सकते हैं। तो ये काफ़ी बचत होती है। इसके अलावा सोलर पावर से हम ये ग्रीन एनर्जी है, तो ग्रीन एनर्जी क्या करती है कि जो कार्बन एमिशन होता है उसको पूरा कट करती है। जैसे 1 यूनिट जो है वो आधा किलो कार्बन एमिशन करता है, तो अगर हम सोलर पावर लगाते हैं और 1 साल में मान लीजिए कि 1 लाख यूनिट प्रोड्यूस करते हैं, तो 1 लाख प्रोड्यूस करने के सामने हम 50,000 किलो का पॉल्यूशन बचाते हैं। इसकी जो कॉस्ट होती है वो करीब 3 से 4 साल में रिकवर होती है। आइए हम आगे इन्वर्टर की तरफ जाते हैं। ये यहाँ पर देखेंगे तो ये इन्वर्टर है। इन्वर्टर जो होता है वो सोलर पैनल्स के पास में होना चाहिए, जिससे हम लोग नॉर्मली ये जो विंग होती है उस विंग के पास में हम नज़दीक के लोकेशन पे डालते हैं। ये इन्वर्टर है। यहाँ पर डीसी पावर जो है वो एसी पावर से कनेक्ट होता है। इसके अलावा यहाँ पे आप सारे जनरेशन देखेंगे। जैसे अभी आज करीब 10:30 बजे हैं, तो यहाँ पर ये 4.33 यूनिट्स प्रोड्यूस हुए हैं और आज तक सितंबर से आज तक यहाँ पर 3,541 यूनिट प्रोड्यूस हुए हैं। और अभी ये पावर जनरेशन करीब है वो 2.72 किलोवाट की कैपेसिटी है। वैसे ये प्लांट है वो 6 किलोवाट का है और अभी ये 30% कैपेसिटी पे चल रहा है। सवेरे 10:30 बजे ये बढ़कर 6 किलोवाट हो जाएगा दोपहर को 2 बजे और फिर धीरे धीरे फिर से ये कम हो जाएगा। तो पूरे दिन में यहाँ पर काफ़ी यूनिट्स प्रोड्यूस होते हैं, जिससे ये यहाँ पर जो स्कूल है वहाँ का पूरा कंजम्पशन है वो अभी सोलर से ही चल रहा है। इसके अलावा सोलर पावर प्लांट्स जो सोसाइटीज़ में लगते हैं, वहाँ पे हमने बोरीवली में एक प्लांट लगाया हुआ है जहाँ पे करीब ये 3 साल हो गए वहाँ पे, तो हर महीने वहाँ पे 40,000 रुपये का सेविंग हो रहा है। आप मान लीजिए कि 40,000 रुपया महीने का अगर सेविंग होता है तो एक साल में करीब 5 लाख रुपए का सेविंग होता है। 5 लाख रुपए सेविंग, वहाँ पे 50 रेसिडेंट्स हैं, 50 रेसिडेंट्स हैं, तो हर एक जो टेनेंट है उसका मेंटेनेंस चार्जेस है, उसमें से टोटल 5 लाख रुपये सेविंग होती है। तो ये काफ़ी बचत होती है और जो सोलर के प्लांट्स हैं वो बहुत अच्छी तरह से चलते हैं। इसमें कोई चैलेंजेस नहीं है, इसमें कोई मेंटेनेंस नहीं है। मेंटेनेंस में सिर्फ आपको पैनल क्लीनिंग करनी है, बाकी जो सारे पार्ट्स हैं वो सब पार्ट्स जो है वो फिक्स्ड है, तो इसमें कोई भी मूवमेंट नहीं होने की वजह से इसमें कोई मैकेनिकल प्रॉब्लम नहीं आते हैं। ये जो इन्वर्टर है, पैनल्स है, ये सारे एकदम अच्छी क्वालिटी के रहते हैं और इसका 25 साल का परफॉर्मेंस है। ये पैनल्स, इन्वर्टर, ये सारी चीज़ें 25 साल तक चलेगी। तो मान लीजिए कि अगर आपकी सोसाइटी एक साल में अगर 5 लाख रुपए बचाती है तो 25 साल में कितना सारा रुपया बचाएगी, हर साल वो 5 लाख रुपए बचाने वाली है। उसके अलावा इसका जो इन्वेस्टमेंट है, मान लीजिए कि 5 लाख रुपया अगर आप साल का बचाते हो तो आपका इन्वेस्टमेंट है वो करीब 15 से 20 लाख रुपया होगा, जो कि 3 या 4 साल में रिकवर हो जाता है। और बाकी के 21 साल आपको लगभग फ्री पावर सप्लाई मिलेगा। इसमें सिर्फ एनुअल मेंटेनेंस होता है जो वेंडर आपको चार्ज करता है, ये कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव मेंटेनेंस होता है। और कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव मेंटेनेंस जो होता है वो करीब जहाँ पे आप 5 लाख रुपए बचत करते हो तो हो सकता है कि साल का 20 से 25,000 रुपये का आपको उनको खर्चा देना है, जिसमें कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव मेंटेनेंस होगा और आपका पूरा प्लांट उसमें कवर हो जाएगा। और आपको गारंटी मिलेगी कि पूरा साल जनरेशन जो कमिट किया हुआ है वो आपको मिलेगा और जो बचत आपको 5 लाख रुपए की है वो मिलेगी। कोकू सोलर हर एक रेसिडेंस बिल्डिंग है वहाँ पर एक ऑफर कर रहा है कि अगर आप अपनी फिजिबिलिटी स्टडी कराना चाहती है तो हम लोग फ्री में फिजिबिलिटी स्टडी करेंगे और आपको ये बताएंगे कि आपकी सोसाइटी में कितना एनुअल कंजम्पशन है, सोलर पावर में हम कितने परसेंटेज लेके जा सकते हैं, इसका इन्वेस्टमेंट कितना होगा, कितनी बचत होगी और जो फंडिंग हो रहा है उसको हम कैसे प्लान करेंगे। ये सारी चीज़ें हमारे रिपोर्ट में आपको मिलेगी, जिसके लिए आपको सिर्फ अपना इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बिल जो है कॉमन एरिया का वो कोकू सोलर के साथ शेयर करना पड़ेगा। हमारी वेबसाइट है www.kokusolar.com और मेरा नंबर है 9820037904। आप मुझे कभी भी व्हाट्सएप पर कम्युनिकेट कर सकते हैं और हमारी टीम आपकी सोसाइटी में आके आपकी फिजिबिलिटी स्टडी करेगी और आपको पूरा रिपोर्ट फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट देगी। और उसके बाद में अगर आपको सोलर पावर लगाना है तो हम आपको एडवाइस करेंगे और आपको बिल्कुल कंप्लीट सॉल्यूशन देंगे पावर सेविंग के लिए। ये मेरा प्रेजेंटेशन था। आप मुझे कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं हमारी वेबसाइट के द्वारा www.kokusolar.com या तो मेरा सेल नंबर है 9820037904। इसके अलावा मैंने अभी लॉकडाउन में एक बुक लिखी है सनी मेक्स मनी। ये बुक आपको सोलर के बारे में कंप्लीट आइडिया देती है। ये अमेज़ॉन पर मिलती है, आप इसको पढ़ सकते हैं या तो हमारे ऑनलाइन ट्रेनिंग ले सकते हैं हमारी वेबसाइट पर जाकर। हम ये सारी सेवाएं जो हैं वो बिल्कुल हमारे पैशन से कर रहे हैं और ये जो पैशन सिर्फ इसलिए है क्योंकि हम ये चाहते हैं कि ऑफ कोर्स सेविंग तो होगा ही, लेकिन सेविंग से ज़्यादा हम कुदरत को कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहे हैं। जबकि हम 1 यूनिट जो सोलर से प्रोड्यूस करेंगे तो आधा किलो पॉल्यूशन बचाएंगे। ये बहुत बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूशन होगा हमारे फ्यूचर जनरेशंस के लिए। आप ये सोच
Thank you for that video. It was actually we were feeling that we were actually doing a site visit. We could see the metering, net metering being done. How is it being done? The practical solar installation. So thank you, Mr. Jayavyas, for that video, sharing that video.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yes. So I will go directly to a couple of questions. There is a question by one of the attendants and by Manish Shukla ji, and he's asking that is there any subsidy available from the government to install solar rooftop for cooperative housing society? Are you aware? Is there anything like this?
Thank you very much everyone for patiently visiting this site.
As far as the subsidy is concerned, in Maharashtra, there are no subsidies currently available for any of the installations. And the major reason why I also do not prefer that there should be any subsidy, the reason being is that in Maharashtra, the power rates are so high that without any subsidy, it is actually an investment on merit basis, where the return on investment can be more than 20% per annum, and the recovery can come between 3 to 4 years. So we do not really need subsidy. I hope I have answered the question.
Yes, definitely. There is one more question which says that will the solar rooftop possible power generation as it prevent water leakages? Now, I'll give you one perspective because that has happened in one of the societies, and maybe Javier, you can elaborate. There was a society in Borivali which had a water leakage problem on the 4th floor, which is the top floor. Mostly it happens due to the harsh sun and the summer temperature rising. What they did is they got a quote for waterproofing the terrace, the entire terrace, and they took a quote for doing a solar panel in the entire terrace. And believe me, the cost of doing a waterproofing solution, which you will need to do every 3 years or 4 years, it's a recurring cost. Instead of that, if you set it off across by setting up solar panels, it was coming that there was hardly any difference, and plus the energy that was generated, the money saved on the energy generation was definitely a plus. So Vyasji, your views on this?
Shaurya, actually you have also answered the question, which is very true and relevant. In fact, we have installed many plants in Sipla, and one of the oldest structure of Sipla was more than 80 years old. And every year they would invest, or rather spend, on taking care of the waterproofing. And we suggested this solar solution, making them, actually everybody needs a reason why they should install solar. So one of the best reasons for me to explain them was that if you are spending on this, terrace leakage control and all that, instead of that, why don't you put solar? And that actually worked for them. And the leakages, there is no leakage anymore. And there are many other advantages. For example, this whole building is with air conditioners. So the temperature on the terrace was reduced, and correspondingly, the consumption of air conditioner power was also reduced. So apart from this leakage challenge, there are many other advantages which solar can be useful for. Yeah.
Thank you, Vyasji. Any other questions? There's a short question: is MEDA registration must while selecting solar vendor?
No, the industry of solar is a free industry like any other, and there are no prerequisites as far as the certification of as a solar installation is concerned. However, there are private institutes, like I have got my certification from Jeremy, which is a very old institute in renewable energy in Gandhinagar. And I went there and got myself trained so that I'm technically more skilled and offer better solutions. One of the questions which I was seeing is that whether there are loans available. Now, yes, the loans are available like any other loans, and as a society we can apply for the loan. I have not had much experience about this loan proposals, because most of the time the societies themselves generate this fund for investment on solar, as it is much beneficial compared to fixed deposits. Like in fixed deposits, you get an interest of 7% or something, while here your return on investment can be more than 20%. So most of the societies have done their own investment. There have been some societies who approach us 1 year in advance, and they said that, sir, what will be the investment? And say typical investment ticket size could be 10 lakhs. So they say that in 1 or 2 years, we will collect 10 lakh rupees and then we will install solar. So because what happens is that once the solar is installed, there could be a drastic reduction in maintenance charges. So this can be very useful for the societies.
Thank you. Any So I think there are some other questions we can take offline, and we can.
I have got this one more question about capex. So, as far as the capex is concerned, it means that the customer oneself invest in the solar power plant, and this is the best model. Like if we invest on our own, we don't have to bother about how to repay the loan and so many other things. So capex model is always recommended. And we install solar power plants anywhere in India, and we have got teams around. We have got very simple procedure of getting the feasibility report. Like you just share your bill with us, and within a day or two we will respond with an exhaustive feasibility report, which will give you all the idea about how solar will be useful to you. And one more thing before I end up is that solar is not only about saving money. It is about saving nature. It is about saving environment, and it is about saving the future of our next generation. This climate change, global warming, all is becoming very dangerous for us, and solar can be one of the answers to this challenge. And I repeat, 1 unit of power what you consume, which is produced by power plants, burning coal and fossil fuel, emits 0.5 kg of pollution. So this is very dangerous. You can count on your fingertips every day what kind of pollution you are creating in the environment. And this is going to be dangerous for our future generations. Thank you very much.
Completely agree with you, Vyasji. A lot of focus is going towards the renewable energy and how we are taking care of the energy needs and what is the source of energy which is coming from. We know our cars are moving electric. We know everything is going electric. It's high time that the society also goes solar, because that's where the source of energy would come in. Thank you. Do we have any questions for Mr. Sandeep Adhyapak on the water harvesting? We had to go with the flow, but if someone has it, please put it on. If not, then we have put some their contact details on the chat, or else you can write in to us. We are more than happy. Rotarians, HM Sudha, do we have any questions? I mean, from the Rotary side to ask to any of the panelists? Please feel free to.
No. There are no specific queries on the chat box also further, and from us also. I think we have finished very nicely. And Aslam bhai, should we end this webinar?
Yes, I think so.
Friends, I will offer a well-deserved vote of thanks. Friends, all of you will wholeheartedly agree with me that all the presentations were very informative, interesting, and easy to understand. All the speakers have aptly dealt with their respective topics, and we are wiser after this webinar.
Only 1 minute. There are some questions which have come regarding AGM.
Okay, please go ahead. I will. After that, I will go ahead.
So let me just take with regard to AGM. Societies can get loan. Yes, definitely you can get the loan. Regarding AGM, is it mandatory for new building to have solar? Yes, that is correct. Okay, let me see.
One query was, I had put one query. In your translation, you had mentioned day, time, and place. Online mein place, what is a place I have to mention?
A place means meeting, if you have, see, there are two ways. One is about audio visual means, and another is a video conference.
Okay, the mode of conducting the proceedings.
Sir, if it is a video conference, you have to give the location, that means the meeting ID, and the which application you are using, and third is a password. In the case of a audio visual means, suppose you have got 4 halls. In different 4 halls, you keep 50 people or 40 people, and you say that flat number 1 to flat number 40 will be in hall number 1, 41 to says 80 will be hall number 2, and you keep 4 video visual means, that is about live telecast, something like keeping a audio visual means. In that case, you will have to give the place, that is hall number 1, hall number 2, hall number 3, that way. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
I think that is clear to you. Now let
Okay.
me come to the. There is one more question. 1 minute. They had asked some questions. Yeah, it is here. 1 minute.
It is regarding
Someone
revised notice.
unmute and ask the question.
Yeah.
If there is any question related to AGM. Okay. There was a connectivity issue and could not hear about the guidelines conducted online in AGM. Appreciate if details can be WhatsApp or email. Okay, we'll do that. The guidelines are available. Now the next question is few important information AGM needed regarding the online AGM. Recording online meeting is required by the authority. Answer: you don't require recording, but it is advisable because there is a mechanism to record, and therefore it is advisable that you get it recorded so that it becomes a part of your proceedings. Secondly, offline in-person requirement of quorum will continue online. Yes, minimum required members are 20 in the physical mode, and even in the online also you need 20 people. And if you don't have 20 people within the allowed time, 2/3 of the members or 20, whichever is less. Suppose you don't have 2/3 or 20 members, then you can continue for half an hour, and thereafter whatever members available you can do. Agenda wise question answer should be between general members and office bearers. Is it possible? The answer is yes. It is agenda wise you can do. How you want to organize is up to you. And therefore, it was said that you have to take the help of the expert. Admission management of the conduct and the completion of the meeting should be with the office bearer. Should be given to other members. Of course, office bearers only will do. Then how the voting will happen? Voting will happen the way normally it happens. That means general chairman can ask people to raise their hand or put it in their chat box, or ask those who are objecting, so they can unmute and talk. The last is how the attendance is recorded. Attendance is recorded by the secretary by calling each one's name, because that is a list of participants are anyhow is available, and there can be other way of putting it in the chat box as to his present. This chat box can always be saved, and one can keep it as a part of the minutes. So people may be asked to record their attendance in the chat box. With this, thank you very much. I don't know, is there any other new questions? Since it is a VC AGM, what about asking questions? Yes, you can ask the question, there is no problem. So questions are permitted, absolutely there is no problem. With this, thank you very much. If there are any questions, you can always ask our association office. Office number is 022 4255 1414 or 022 4255 1425, and you can send on the email also, mswa.shg@gmail.com, and my email address is rsprabhu13@gmail.com. Thank you very much.